The door was already unlocked. Hey, night listener. Tonight we enter the shadows. Rain glides sideways across your windshield, like it's trying to erase the street itself. The wipers squeak a half second too late. A soft jazz station whispers beneath the static something in B minor, something lonely. Outside, the motel flickers beneath a busted neon sign. Inquire within. You step out. Boots sink into soft gravel, water lapping against your cuffs. The air tastes like copper, the kind of night where streetlights hum warnings and windows watch back. Room 6 is quiet. Too quiet. You don't knock. You already know. The lock isn't broken, it's turned. Like someone expected you, or didn't care enough to keep you out. So you enter, slowly, gun holstered, hand hovering. There's no body, not yet, but the smell is familiar. Blood, bleach, betrayal, and something else, burned paper. The room looks ordinary at first, motel ordinary, polyester bedspread, cigarette scars on the desk, a single bulb flickering overhead like it's deciding whether to trust you. But the desk drawer is open. Inside, a photograph, black and white, curling at the edges. A family, 4 people, smiling, except one face is gouged out with a pen. You lift it. On the back, a name, Detective J. Marin, your name. You blink. You don't remember the photo being taken. You don't even remember those clothes. Then your phone buzzes, unknown number. It's starting again. You're late. You spin around. No one there, except the mirror on the wall is covered. A hand towel taped across it. Sloppy. You pull it down. The glass is cracked, right down the center, but you catch your reflection only. It's not right. The collar on your shirt is too tight. The scar on your neck is missing. And your eyes don't blink when you do. You reach forward, palm against the glass, but something's beneath it. A photograph. Inside the crack, you work it free. It's you, standing in this very room. Only it's dated 2 days from now. Your signature is scribbled on the bottom. He already knew the ending. Your breath fogs the mirror, and you whisper, even though no one asked, what if you've been the suspect all along? You pocket the photo and walk toward the closet. There's something ticking inside, like a watch or a timer. You knew, but pretended you didn't. So begins the first step, not toward justice, but into a trap you helped build. The door closes behind you gently, like a whisper, like consent. A photograph, missing its subject. The ticking doesn't stop. It grows steadier, louder, not from the closet after all, but from the ceiling vent just above your head, like a countdown that forgot what it was counting down to. You stare at it, breathing shallow, hand resting near your hip where the holster rests. Your instincts keep whispering, don't draw first, don't draw yet, because this isn't a shootout, it's something worse. You open the closet. Inside, nothing but wire hangers and a pair of shoes, men's, your size, still damp, and stuffed in the right shoe is a photo envelope, the kind you haven't seen since the days when everything had to be developed in secret dark rooms. You sit on the edge of the bed, the springs protesting your weight like they recognize you. There are 6 photographs inside, one by one. You lay them out. Same location, this motel room, same angle. Someone had been standing in the corner, taking photos over multiple nights. In each photo, someone different is in the frame. A woman crying in the mirror. A man asleep with the door wide open. A child curled on the floor in the same spot where your boots are now. And the last 2 photos, empty room, except for one detail, a coat draped over the chair, your coat. You check the timestamp scratched into the corner of the last print. It's tonight's date, but the time reads 1:13 a.m. You glance at your watch. It's 12:47. You haven't been photographed yet. Not yet. And then you notice the oddest part. The fifth photo, the one with the child, it's missing someone. The angle suggests there should be another figure, a woman, maybe, judging by the position of the child's gaze. But there's no one there, just a shadow, faint, human-shaped, smudged out like someone tried to erase her too late. You pull the photo closer. The wallpaper behind the shadow matches the wall behind you. You glance up, back toward that same wall. Your stomach knots. There's something drawn in pencil just behind the curtain. A name, yours. But it's not written like a signature. It's written like a warning. And beside it, a tiny, uneven symbol, a triangle inside a circle, scratched until the drywall buckled. You've seen that symbol before, on a case you never solved, one you were warned to drop. It was never about the truth, it was about control. That voice again, from the hallway, female, soft, familiar. You rush to the door, yank it open, but all that's left is a single glove, black leather, worn, left for you. You bend to pick it up, but stop short, because inside the glove, something shifts. You shake it gently, and out falls a key, not to the motel, to a locker, and hanging from the tag is one word, typed in all caps. Evidence you knew, but pretended you didn't. And now the past isn't waiting for you to chase it. It's already inside the room, watching, waiting, ticking. The victim wrote a name. Twice you leave the room without turning off the light, because shadows have a way of growing bolder in the dark. And tonight, you're not entirely sure they aren't watching back. The rain has turned to mist, slicking the pavement like oil. You drive with the windows up and the heater on, yet somehow the chill in your bones deepens. The glove and keys sit on the passenger seat like a dare you haven't accepted yet. The photographs burn a hole in your coat pocket. You don't head back to the station. Not yet. You head to her place instead. The victim, Elena Cruz, found dead 2 nights ago. Cause of death inconclusive. Case status officially closed. You signed the report yourself. Only you didn't. At least, not in ink you remember using. Her apartment is still sealed. But your badge has ways of opening doors that shouldn't open. And when you step inside, nothing has changed. Not the overturned mug near the kitchen sink. Not the jazz record stopped at the halfway point on the turntable. Not even the broken chain on the window she insisted had been cut. Not snapped. You pause at her writing desk. Scattered across it pages from a worn notebook. And in the middle, underlined twice in shaky blue ink, Detective Marin. You. No context, no sentence. Just your name repeated like a mantra. Your fingers tremble slightly as you flip to the previous page. Notes, scattered thoughts, a partial address. A phrase jumps out. Everyone lies, especially the quiet ones. You flip forward. On the next page, the ink is different red this time, and hurried. They promised he'd be protected, but you saw it, didn't you? You saw the tape. You never told anyone about the tape. It was deleted, or so you were told, but the key in your pocket says otherwise. You look up. There's a photo on her wall, an old black and white of Elena as a girl, and beside her, a tall man in a military jacket, face blurred by time, or maybe intention. You recognize the patch on his sleeve because it matches a symbol in your cold case drawer. Triangle inside a circle. You step back, heart punching your ribs. She knew. Maybe about the code. Maybe about the camera in that motel room. Maybe about why they wanted her gone. The question isn't what she was afraid of. The question is who she told. You turn toward the exit and freeze. A message scrawled in black Sharpie has appeared on the mirror near the door. She warned you. Now she's warning them. You close your eyes for a moment. What if you've been the suspect all along? No sirens, no footsteps, just the faint hum of the light bulb overhead. It flickers once, then steadies, as if it's watching. You glance at your reflection, and something inside you slips because your mouth is shut, but your reflection is smiling. You knew, but pretended you didn't. Now you do, and it's already too late. The missing tape was never missing. You drive to the evidence locker after midnight. No headlights, no radio. The city's asleep, but your thoughts aren't. They're pacing, whispering, replaying the moment Elena's handwriting burned your name into her notebook. Twice. You park in the alley behind the precinct. The coded service door doesn't beep when you key in. It just opens like it's been expecting you. You walk through rows of shelves, steel and shadow, each box numbered in fading marker, each case a frozen scream. Locker 117A. That's what the tag said. You find it in the back, eye level, untouched. But it's not locked. The key in your pocket fits a different locker, 2 rows over, 117B. You pause, because 117B doesn't exist in the official system. You never logged it. No one did. Still, there it is, dustless and deliberate. The key slides in like it belongs there. You hesitate, then turn. Inside, a single item, a VHS tape, no label, just a strip of masking tape across the front with a handwritten date October 12th, 2006. You stop breathing for a second. That's the night Elena's father vanished. The case you were told never to investigate. The file that mysteriously deleted itself. You take the tape. It's heavier than it should be. Back in the evidence room, an old VCR sits beneath a sheet. You plug it in. Static. A buzz like flies behind glass. Then the footage begins. Black and white. Low resolution. Timestamp in the corner. A motel room. Room 6. Elena's father enters. Looks around. Nervous. Sits. A man enters a minute later. You can't see his face. Only his hands gloved. He sets a folder on the bed. There's no audio. Only the room's silence pressing against your ears like a scream held underwater. The two men argue. You can tell from their gestures. Then something changes. The camera jumps like it's been bumped. Suddenly you're looking at the ceiling. A second man enters. This one doesn't wear gloves because his right hand has a distinctive scar along the wrist. You've seen that scar before. In your mirror, your stomach caves in on itself. You rewind, pause, frame by frame. It's you. You were there, but you weren't. Were you? You knew, but pretended you didn't. You don't remember that night. You were off duty, sick. That's what your record says. But now you're not sure who wrote that record, because on the tape, your doppelganger takes the folder, nods once, and walks out without a word. And Elena's father never leaves the room. The tape ends there. You sit back, sweat cold down your spine. Then you notice it's something you missed. The photo, the one from your motel drawer, on the wall in the tape's frame, crooked and barely visible. You freeze it, and there it is, the same photograph, 4 people, one face gouged out. Only now, none of the faces are yours. You stare, blinking, but the eyes on the screen stare back. It was never about the truth, it was about control, and you lost it a long time ago. A witness who doesn't remember. You leave the precinct before dawn, the taste of old film and dust still coating your mouth. The tape stays behind, hidden in the drawer beneath your desk, tucked beneath a file labeled closed by order in faded red ink. But your mind doesn't stay behind. It spirals, because if that footage was real and your face was there, then someone's been controlling your narrative, editing your life like a crime scene you were never meant to solve. So you go looking for the last person who might have seen it unfold in real time. Martin Greaves, security guard, janitor, ghost with a pension. He worked the night shift at the motel for 15 years. Quit the day after Elena's father vanished. Never gave a reason. Never gave a forwarding address. But you find him. A rundown retirement home in the North End. Fluorescent lights buzzing like mosquitoes. The smell of bleach. Loneliness and old regrets. He doesn't recognize you. Or so he says. His eyes are milky, clouded by time and something else, maybe fear, maybe guilt. But his hands, they tremble when you say one word, October. He turns slowly in his chair. I told them to destroy the tape, he says, voice hoarse, cracked like dry paper. But they said the tape wasn't for evidence. It was for leverage. You sit. Let him talk. You don't interrupt. Because part of you is scared he'll stop. They said the girl would come looking, the one whose father disappeared, and that someone needed to watch her, keep her occupied. You lean in. Did you? He blinks. I tried, but she was smart. Too smart. She left notes, hid things, in room 6. The key burns in your pocket again. He lifts a shaking hand and reaches into his lap blanket. Folds of worn fabric part, revealing something small, round, metallic. A stopwatch. He hands it to you. She left this for whoever came next. The numbers aren't ticking. They're counting backwards. 0-32. You knew, but pretended you didn't. You turn it over. On the back, something etched by hand. Truth Itios 3. 3 truths, or 3 steps, or 3 people. You whisper. What was the third thing she said? Greaves stares at you, lips parting, but before he can answer, the lights flicker. Once, twice, out. When they return, Greaves is still, eyes wide, stopwatch still in your hand. But his chest isn't rising anymore, and in his lap is a torn corner of a photograph from the motel. Only this one has your face burned out. Everyone lies, especially the quiet ones, and tonight, the silence is deafening. The stopwatch hits 0 at midnight. You sit in your car and stare at the stopwatch. It's not ticking anymore. It's not counting at all. But when you blink, it resets. Waru 1832, and starts counting down again. Only this time, it's louder, not just in sound, but in presence, like it's bleeding seconds into your thoughts. You close the car door and lock it, as if locks matter anymore. Midnight's a whisper away. You don't know what happens when it hits 0, but Elena did. You retrace her steps. Room 6 still stands, forgotten, condemned, taped off with rusted chains and half-peeled warning signs. The motel's gone bankrupt, a burned-out shell in the city's underbelly. Still, the key works. Of course it does. You open the door, and the smell hits you: mildew, wet carpet, mold, and memory. Inside, the room is staged exactly like the tape. The chair, the bedspread, the photo on the wall, crooked and wrong, except now there's a crack in the mirror across from it, a jagged diagonal slash through your reflection's eyes. What if you've been the suspect all along? You move to the dresser, third drawer down. You open it slowly, and there it is, a cassette recorder. You press play. The tape inside whirs to life, and a voice, Elena's, begins. If you're hearing this, you've already seen something you weren't supposed to. I didn't lie to protect him. I lied to buy time, because they buried the truth beneath people, not paper. Check the clock tower at the old train depot. The camera's still up. It always was. Click. You rewind it again. She's calm, determined, like she knew she wouldn't survive but wanted someone to pick up the thread. The stopwatch keeps ticking. 12:47. You take the recorder, slip it into your coat, and turn back toward the door. But someone's standing in it. Tall, still, unmoving. You reach for your weapon, but it's not there, because you never brought it. And the figure just lifts something, a gloved hand, holding a manila folder. Time's up, he says, but the stopwatch still reads 00:10:01. You lunge. The door bursts open. No one's there, just footsteps echoing down the hallway outside, and a single glove left on the carpet behind you. It's your glove from the evidence locker, the same one that disappeared the night the tape was made. You pick it up. There's something inside, a Polaroid of Elena, alive, taken yesterday. You knew, but pretended you didn't. She's still out there, or someone wants you to believe she is. And either way, you're not driving home tonight. You're driving to the clock tower, because the stopwatch is still counting, and you're done pretending you don't hear it. The camera that wasn't broken. The train depot is the kind of place people forget existed until a scream echoes through it. You pull up just past 2:00 a.m. Fog curls around the stone columns like it's trying to remember them. The clock tower looms overhead, its broken hands still frozen at 3:17 a time that never meant anything to you until now. It was never about the truth. It was about control. You move quickly, past collapsed benches and shattered windows, following muscle memory from a life you're no longer sure belonged to you. Up the rusted stairs, 3 flights, then a hatch, locked until it isn't. The latch swings open like someone was waiting. Inside, the clock's massive gears sit still, coated in grease and dust, but the camera, the one Elena mentioned, it's real, mounted in the far corner, half covered in cobwebs. A red LED glows faintly alive. Your fingers hesitate over the recorder in your coat pocket. You play her voice again. The camera's still up. It always was. They said they needed the footage, not for court, for leverage. You kneel beside it. The camera isn't wired to anything visible. But when you trace the power cable, it feeds into a trapdoor beneath the floorboards. You pry it up. Inside a boxy receiver, still warm, you eject the mini DV tape, label property of municipal surveillance. Do not erase. Date, March 22nd, 2006. The night Elena disappeared. You slot it into your handheld viewer. Static, buzz, then a platform, moonlight, a train that never came, and Elena standing alone. She's pacing, checking her watch, talking to someone on a phone, but no one's on the other end. Then she stops, looks up, straight into the lens. Her mouth moves, but there's no sound. You read her lips. You miss the moment. Then a shadow steps behind her. Tall, lean, familiar posture. Your posture. He whispers something. She nods, hands him a file. He turns away. The feed cuts. You drop the viewer. It clatters against the wood and shuts off. You check the stopwatch. Zal 0428. You don't remember that night, but she does. And now you do, too. Because the gloves match, the time matches, and the guilt in your chest has stopped pretending to be sleep. You didn't kill Elena. You did something worse. You obeyed. Everyone lies, especially the quiet ones. And the quietest voice in your head has been telling the loudest lie. You're not solving this case. You're finishing it. But you're not sure for whom. A confession. Left in disguise. You drive. No destination. Just asphalt and memory unspooling behind you like cassette tape. Every turn feels familiar. Every shadow has a name. Every red light is a judgment call. What if you've been the suspect all along? You park near the water, the old boathouse where Elena's father was last seen alive, or at least last recorded. The building's sagging, like a body that's forgotten how to hold itself up. The stopwatch reads 000212. You don't knock. Inside, it's dark. The kind of dark that feels earned, like it belongs to the place. You flick on your phone's light. Dust dances in the beam. Then it catches on something. A locker. Rusted, but intact. Inside, a shoebox. You open it. Letters. Dozens of them. All addressed to you. None mailed. All signed the same way. E. You read the first one. I know you don't remember. I know they made sure of it. But I remember you. Before the motel. Before they gave you the badge. You were curious. You asked why. That's why they chose you. Because you could follow orders. But more importantly, because you could forget them. The next one. If you're reading this, then you broke the cycle. Or maybe someone broke it for you. I told the truth once. It got rewritten. So this time, I lied. And it's why I'm still alive. There's a flash drive taped to the final envelope. You pocket it. Outside, your breath fogs the windshield. You play the last recording on the cassette. Elena again. They gave me a new name. A new town. But no matter how far I ran, I could still hear the ticking. It's not the bomb that kills you. It's the countdown. Your eyes shift to the stopwatch. 0004 0003 You don't panic. You listen. Because the last second doesn't tick. It clicks. And from the shoebox, something new lights up. A tiny receiver, blinking red. A transmitter. The stopwatch wasn't counting down to your death. It was syncing with her. She's still alive, and she's watching. And for the first time in years, you feel something strange. Relief, not because you're safe, but because you're not the only one left who remembers the file that shouldn't exist. You're back in your apartment by sunrise, but it doesn't feel like yours anymore. The floor creaks in all the wrong places. The window sticks like it did the night they broke in. You haven't slept, and you won't not until you know what's on that flash drive. It's unmarked, cheap, disposable, like it was never meant to last. You plug it in. A folder appears. Final puzzle. You open it. Inside dozens of photos, screenshots, surveillance angles you never authorized. There's Elena at the train station, the motel, even the boathouse. But the timestamps, they don't line up. Some are from before she vanished. Some are from after. One is from last week. She's in a crowd, hair dyed, head down, holding a small child's hand. You lean closer. It's her. Older. Changed. But unmistakable. She didn't run. She vanished on purpose. You knew. but pretended you didn't. Your fingers shake as you open the next file. An audio clip, just static at first. Then a man's voice, calm, flat, familiar. Subject Zaro 3 has exhibited full reintegration. Memory suppression effective. Containment unlikely. Recommend activation of protocol echo. You know that voice. It's your commanding officer. Or was. And beneath the audio, a PDF labeled Reinstatement Clearance. Agent Caldwell. Your name. But the photo isn't you. It's him. The one who stood in the motel doorway. The one who left your glove behind. The one wearing your life like a mask. Everyone lies, especially the quiet ones. You scroll further. There's a redacted report. All names blacked out except one. Elena. It ends with a phrase repeated 5 times. She remembers everything. You close the folder, then open your drawer. Inside the second key, the one from the motel desk. You thought it was useless. You were wrong. On the back, you scratch off the rust. A number reveals itself, 3119. The exact time frozen on the clock tower, 5:31:17, or maybe 53. Room 17, your apartment building, 5th floor, room 317. But that's impossible. This building only has 4 floors. Until now, you grab your flashlight and the stopwatch, which, after hitting 0, has started again. Only now, it's counting up. 0004 33 00 04 34. You open your front door, and the elevator that hasn't worked in years dings, waiting. You step inside. No buttons light up until you speak 5, and the car moves. The room that wasn't there yesterday. You feel the elevator rise, but the panel shows no floor, just a slow, pulsing symbol, a triangle within a circle, like an eye that forgot how to blink. There's no ding when it stops, just a soft click as the doors part into darkness. Not the kind of dark that feels empty, the kind that waits. You step out. 5th floor, but the walls are wrong. The hallway too narrow. Carpet patterned with the same motif from the motel faded red. Gold flecks. A memory, looping in wallpaper. You move forward. Room 317 stares at you. The key fits before you even think about it. The door creaks open. Inside a mirror, cracked down the center. It hangs on the far wall, tilted slightly, as if ashamed of what it reflects. It was never about the truth. It was about control. There's no furniture, just the mirror and a chair. On the chair, a folder, same red stamp, confidential, property of Unit 6. You don't open it yet. You look in the mirror, and for the first time, you don't recognize yourself. Not because you've changed, but because someone else has been watching through your eyes. There's writing on the wall beside your reflection, Sharpie, bleeding through cheap wallpaper. You made a deal. Don't act surprised by the terms. You blink. It's gone. You open the folder. Inside a contract, signed by you, but you don't remember ever signing it. Clauses about voluntary memory modulation, deniable operations, and something chilling. In the event of behavioral deviance, initiate psychological recursion loop via mnemonic artifact IA. The stopwatch. You were trained, not as a detective, as a containment agent. And Elena, she wasn't your target. She was your handler, until she broke protocol, until you forgot her, until she made you remember again. What if you've been the suspect all along? There's one more object beneath the contract. A photo. Old, bent. You and Elena, laughing, before the lie, before the rewrites. You look up. Your reflection smiles, but you didn't move. Behind you, the door clicks shut, then locks. The stopwatch ticks louder. 0806 12. You whisper her name, and for a moment, just one, the mirror fogs up. Someone writes back, "Don't trust the questions." Then it vanishes. Echoes, "Don't wait for permission." The mirror stays still. No more words, no more tricks. But the silence, it's different now. Weighted, breathing, like the room is holding its breath and waiting for yours to run out. You reach for the doorknob. It doesn't turn. Of course it doesn't. You're not supposed to leave until you remember everything. On the desk beside the mirror, something new. You swear it wasn't there before. A tape recorder, cassette already loaded. The same worn label, Echo Aegis, authorized playback. Only you press play. Elena's voice, tired but calm. "If you're hearing this, I'm already out of range," which means they've let you go far enough to figure it out, but not far enough to undo it. She exhales, not fear grief. "They told you I was the experiment, but you were the reset button. Every time I got too close to the truth, they sent you in to investigate, to help, and every time you believed it." She laughs softly, bitter. "You're not the detective. You're the trigger." On cue, the stopwatch beeps. 0, subsan 00007 wasn't none. You rip the tape out, but the voice keeps going now from the mirror. No tape, no speaker, just her, standing inside the glass, but not quite Elena. Not anymore. Her face is paler, the eyes wrong, dilated like someone half remembering a trauma in reverse. You speak her name. She doesn't answer. She lifts her hand, motions you closer. You obey. The mirror ripples, not like water, like memory, fragile, familiar. And in that ripple, you see the motel again. Not from the hallway, from the bed. You were never the investigator standing over her file. You were the subject lying beneath it. You close your eyes. The mirror goes silent. You whisper what you're now sure of. Everyone lied, especially the quiet ones. The lights flicker. The doorknob clicks open. But you don't leave. Not yet. Because in the bottom of the folder, tucked behind the photo, you find one more key. No tag, no number, just engraved words, "Final room," and scratched into the back, barely legible. You were never supposed to remember this far. You pocket the key and walk out, knowing what comes next isn't freedom. It's the part where the game stops pretending it wasn't won. The final room isn't final. The key is cold in your palm, heavier than metal should be. It doesn't jingle. It doesn't belong to any lock you've seen. It hums, not a sound, a feeling. You descend the building stairs instead of taking the elevator, because now you don't trust anything that moves on its own. When you reach the lobby, the door should lead out to the street. It doesn't. Now it leads to a hallway. Long, narrow, wrong. This isn't a floor plan. It's a memory map. Every 10 feet, another door. No numbers, no names, just scratch marks. You pass one door, then another. You stop at the third, because this one is breathing, faint exhales, like someone is asleep behind it or pretending to be. You grip the final room key, and it fits, but you don't turn it. Not yet. Instead, you reach for your phone. It's on, despite having no service for hours. A single message glows on the screen. "Do not open this door, or those door." Below it, a second one arrives instantly. Unless you're ready to lose everything again, you swallow and turn the key anyway. It clicks, opens halfway. Inside is a room you know too well, a basement, one light bulb swaying, a wall of tapes, and in the center, a chair, your chair, straps frayed from overuse, rust stains on the floor like old regrets. A screen flickers on the far wall, and the first thing it plays surveillance footage of you for years, different names, different towns, different versions of you, the detective, the victim, the friend, the suspect. Each time, new context, same story, same trigger, same Elena, always appearing just long enough to wake something up in you. And just before you remember, the scene cuts to static. You knew, but pretended you didn't. You stumble backward and step on something. A stopwatch, not yours. Another, but this one reads 00. There was 0, and it starts on its own, counting up, because now there is no reset, there is no case, there's just you and the people who made you, and the final room that's only just begun to open. A hatch slides open in the floor. You drop the stopwatch into your pocket and descend into whatever they left behind. Because now you're done asking questions. Now it's time to become the one they're afraid will remember everything. You remember too much now. The ladder groans with each step. You descend past dust and dripping pipework, past decades of forgotten infrastructure, and something more primal, forgotten choices. It's not a basement. It's a bunker, built before records, after guilt. The walls aren't concrete. They're lined with files, bound in leather, names burned into their spines. You run your hand along them. Half are scratched out. Others still whisper. You see yours, not your name now. Your name from before, from the first life, the one before the program, the one they made sure you'd never reach. But Elena knew. She always knew. You pull the file, open it. Inside is your handwriting, but you don't remember writing it. If I ever make it back here, don't trust the mirrors. Don't trust the girl. Don't trust the name they gave you. You're the weapon, not the witness. Below the note, a photograph, black and white, blurry. It's you again. Only this time, you're not looking at the camera. You're pointing a gun at it. The caption, Test Case Kestrel, Dapke 3. Outcome, partial. Amnesia, behavioral drift. You hear footsteps above, fast, determined. They know you're here. A hatch slams shut. The way out is gone. You turn, and for the first time, notice the countdown. A red LED above a heavy metal door, now flashing Dewy 5905, 5805, 57, not an explosion. A lock, a purge, a memory erasure, or worse. You shove your file inside your jacket and scan the others. Names blur past none familiar, until one stops you. Elena, Mira, agent suspended. Inside her file, a red stamped memo. Subject failed containment protocol. Emotional compromise detected. Memory loop disengaged. Recommend permanent neutralization. There's no signature, only a symbol, a triangle within a circle. The same from the elevator, from the tape, from the motel, from your badge. You were never the detective. You were the judge. A reset protocol with a face and a story and 1,000 false starts. You look at the stopwatch, still ticking. Up 002 47 00 02 48. You whisper. Everyone lies, especially the quiet ones. The files hum, as if remembering too. Then the lights go out. Only the LED glows red now. And the final door unlocks with a hiss. You step toward it. knowing that this time it won't lead you back to safety. It'll lead you to why you were created in the first place and what Elena was trying to protect the world from you. Truth was never the end game. The final door opens like a breath held too long, slow, shaky, unwilling. Beyond it, no lab, no room, just a corridor of mirrors, tall, seamless, stretching endlessly in both directions. You step forward. Your reflection steps with you. But you notice something's off. The mirror. You doesn't blink when you do. Its eyes track you too slowly, like lag on a corrupted file. It's not a reflection. It's a record. Every 10 steps, a new version appears in the glass, different clothes, different wounds, different truths. You as a father, you as a killer, you as a child in a courtroom, testifying with shaking hands, you as the detective, crying over a photograph you swore you never took. Each version stares at you. None of them move, except one. Midway down the corridor, a single reflection breaks away from the timeline. It tilts its head, smiles, speaks. You're not here to remember. You're here to choose. You freeze. The smile deepens because justice isn't about truth. It's about who gets to write it. It steps forward, and this time, so do you. But only you cast a shadow. The mirror you does not. A symbol flashes on its chest. Program active. The corridor shifts. Mirrors flicker, rearrange. You realize this isn't a memory vault. It's a jury box, and every reflection, another version of you, testifying for or against the crime you can't remember committing. The door behind you seals with a hiss. Above, an intercom crackles. Elena's voice, worn but calm. You made it further than we thought. But if you're hearing this, they've already rebooted the loop for someone else. You won't get answers. You'll get decisions. And whatever you choose, someone else will pay for it. A panel slides open in the floor beneath you. 2 buttons, one marked forgive, the other remember. You hesitate. The reflections begin to pound on the glass, screaming, begging. You realize none of them know which button they pressed. Maybe none of them ever did. You whisper. It was never about the truth. It was about control. And reach down, because justice was never blind. It was programmed. And now it's your turn to choose whose story survives. The button always presses back. Your finger hovers between forgive and remember. Neither option feels right or safe, because you understand now this isn't a choice. It's a filter, a sorting mechanism, a way to determine which version of you continues and which gets archived. You clench your jaw and press remember. The moment your fingertip connects, the corridor shudders, light bends, time stutters. The reflections vanish like evaporating breath. A low, mechanical voice intones authority restored, personality core unlocked, and for a split second, the pain hits like lightning behind your eyes. You fall to your knees, gasping, as a wave of memories slams through you. Not yours, hers, Elena's. You see the loop every time you met her, under a new identity, new case, new rules. Every time she tried to warn you, tried to short-circuit the programming, every time you forgot. But this time, she rewrote the rule book, not erased you, resurrected you, with one goal: to end the loop, even if it cost her everything. A screen flickers on in the ceiling. Her face, this time not live, but recorded. She looks tired, hopeful. You've made it to the core. That means the protocol failed good. Now you're awake. You have less than 3 minutes before they override this instance. There's a server beneath the observation room. Pull the black wire. Just the black one. That's the kill signal. That ends the loop. All of them. Even mine. Her smile falters. You always wanted the truth. But the truth doesn't save people. Sometimes it erases them. The screen dies. You rise and walk. The mirrors have melted into smooth black panels, now glass with no reflection. No lies, no history. Just you and the ticking in your pocket. The stopwatch 000944 000945. Time you've earned. Time you're about to spend. You reach the door labeled Core Access. It opens before you touch it. Inside a chamber of humming servers, cooled air, blinking lights like nervous systems, and at the center, a single black cable snaking from the machine's base. You step closer, pick it up. It's warm, like something alive. You pause just 1 second and whisper, "You knew," but pretended you didn't. Then you pull, the lights go out. The hum stops, and something inside you exhales, like waking up from a dream that's been watching you back. Waking up was the easy part. Darkness doesn't fall, it rises, thick. Pressurized silence swells in the server room, swallowing every trace of circuitry, signal, and sound. The power's gone, but something remains. You. Still breathing, still inside the system's last breath. For a moment, you think you're free. Then the emergency lights blink on. Red, then blue, then green. Each color paints a different memory across your skin. Memories that never belonged to you until now. You stagger forward. The exit is open, unsealed, unguarded, too easy. That's when you hear it. Footsteps, not distant, right behind you. You whirl, heart pounding, but there's no one. Only a mirror, cracked down the center, and in it, not your reflection. Hers, Elena, but older, scarred, watching. She doesn't speak, just raises a gloved hand and points at your pocket. You reach in, find another note, folded once, written in the same rushed ink as the one in section 13. If you're reading this, it means I failed again. You were supposed to become better. Not me, not them, you. But the system doesn't want better. It wants predictable. You weren't designed to escape. You were designed to reset. A fingerprint smudge at the bottom. Yours or hers. You back away from the mirror. It cracks again, spider webbing across her face. And still, she watches. You mutter. Everyone lies, especially the quiet ones. The hallway beyond pulses with light. A countdown resumes overhead. System restoration initiated 0259 0258. You're not free. You're between, caught in the last breath of a loop that knows it's dying and won't go quietly. You dash toward the exit, but the hallway stretches impossibly, twisting like a dream, trying to rewrite itself mid-thought. The photographs on the walls flicker between frames. You with Elena, you without a face, you watching yourself. Your name changes with each photo. Detective, agent, inmate, subject, 0. You grip the wall. It feels like fabric, thin, insistent. Tug at it, and a whole corner of reality peels away. Behind it, rows of observers, watching, not through screens, but through you. They've always been there. The trial wasn't in the courthouse. It was in your head. And the jury was never human. One of them leans forward and places a hand on the glass. No mouth, no eyes, just a voice in your bones. You ended the program, but the story still needs an ending. You blink, and you're back in the corridor. Only this time, your reflection is pointing a gun at you. The gun you forgot, the gun you carried all along. You breathe. What if I've been the suspect all along? The reflection smirks, lowers the gun, walks away, and you're alone again. Except you're not. The door ahead opens one final time, and behind it, the file room. Every story, every life, every lie, still waiting to be rewritten by you. The files. Remember what you forgot. The room stretches far beyond physics aisles of filing cabinets. Endless drawers, all identical. Each drawer bears a nameplate, some scratched out, some yours, some names you don't recognize. Until you do, you approach one labeled Elena Vai, incomplete. You reach for the handle, but it retracts. Denied. You move to the next case, Mo037. Failure to comply. It opens without resistance. Inside not paper, not data. Just a single playing card, the Queen of Spades. Its center burned through. You blink, and for a moment it moves. Winks. You slam the drawer shut. Your pulse is too loud now. Your thoughts disobedient. What was it? Elena said you weren't designed to escape. You were designed to reset. But the reset didn't happen. You chose to remember. So why does everything feel scripted again? You pace through the room. Each cabinet you pass hums slightly, like it's breathing. You open one marked Truth. Inside a photograph. A man, a woman, a little girl. They're smiling at a lake you've never seen yet. Your stomach turns like you've just remembered losing them. The girl is holding a snow globe. Wait, you've seen that snow globe in your apartment. Except you don't have an apartment, do you? A low chime rings out overhead. Cognitive divergence at 82%. Recommendation. Purge. Your knees buckle. The voice wasn't mechanical. It was yours. From before, the original version. Before the loops. Before Elena. Before the illusion of guilt or innocence. Before you volunteered. You drop the photo. It cracks like glass. Behind it, hidden in the drawer lining, is a handwritten journal page. Torn, scorched, but legible. Memory is a weapon, but only if it stays broken. If you piece it back together, it just becomes a map back to the cage. You whisper, you knew, but pretended you didn't. A sound behind you, footsteps again. But this time, someone else is in the file room. You duck behind a cabinet and listen. He's humming, low, off-key. You peer around the corner. It's you, the older version, gray at the temples, eyes haunted, same coat, same hesitation. He opens drawers with familiarity. He's not looking for truth. He's looking for a way back. And you realize, with a gut punch certainty, you've seen him before. In the tape from Section 7, the figure in the background, the one that vanished from the feed. He never escaped. He looped. And now he's watching you. He doesn't speak, just nods once, then drops a key. It hits the floor with a sound that feels like an answer. He vanishes between the rows, gone. You pick up the key. It's engraved number 20. Exit. You turn. The hallway is open again, but one final drawer unmarked. Cold draws your attention. Do you open it, or do you follow the key? Because the truth is closed now, but so is the end. The truth opens with a key. You choose the drawer. You shouldn't, but you do. Because if there's one thing this place has taught you, It's that escape without understanding is just a slower kind of prison. The drawer resists, then gives. Inside is no paper, no photograph, no card, only a mirror. But it doesn't reflect your face. It reflects your trial. You see yourself in a courtroom, not as the detective, not as the accused, as the architect, the one who built the program. You, long ago. You hear your own voice echo from the mirror like a sentence passed down through time. If we cannot fix them, we'll reset them. Guilt is flexible. Memory is code. You flinch because suddenly it all connects. You weren't trapped. You were hiding from a choice, a betrayal, a single moment when the system you designed turned on someone you loved, and you let it. Because the alternative meant exposure. It was never about justice. It was about control. You slam the drawer shut. The mirror inside cracks. The final piece of the pattern snaps into place. Elena wasn't the subject. She was the trigger. The anomaly you buried. Again and again, hoping the loop would kill her memory. But she survived. And now she's in you. Not metaphorically, literally. Her consciousness spliced into your stream during the last loop. That's why the reflections were never right. Why the notes felt like hers. You haven't been remembering. She's been remembering through you. The loop failed, but the system hasn't stopped. You clutch the key marked number 20, exit. The hallway ahead glows with sterile white light. Unlike the rest of the place, it's clean, simple, honest, terrifying. You walk, one step at a time, past fading memories, rusted machinery, and whispers that might just be your own breathing echoing off the truth. You reach the door. A plaque beside it reads, "Last exit, one way only." You insert the key. It doesn't click. It pulses like a heartbeat. Then the door swings open. You expect light. You get fog, thick, suffocating, but it parts when you step through. And waiting at the center, seated at a table like it's just a rainy Tuesday evening, Elena, alive, calm, unshackled. "About time," she says, sipping something hot. You ready to tell the truth. You open your mouth, but you don't know whose words will come out. Yours, hers, both. Maybe that's the point. You sit down. The fog closes behind you. The conversation you never had. Elena doesn't blink, doesn't smile, just watches. Her fingers tap the side of the cup, slow, deliberate. A rhythm you recognize, the same one that used to lull you to sleep when you were designing code late at night, back when she was your partner, back when you were still human. "Talk," she says, and you try, but the words feel foreign in your throat, like borrowed thoughts from someone braver. "I didn't think you'd survive the merge," you whisper. She chuckles without warmth. "You didn't want me to." She sets the cup down, and the sound echoes unnaturally like it hits metal, not wood. You glance around. The fog has shape now, shadows inside it, pacing like guards, or maybe memories. The difference is meaningless here. Elena leans forward. "You always said the system wasn't meant to punish, just to purge. So tell me, what part of you are we purging right now?" You can't answer that, because part of you still thinks this isn't real. But she reads that thought too. "You still think this is a loop," she says. "But it's not. It's post-loop. There's no reset coming." The room flickers. Her form glitches for half a second, and then stabilizes. The integration is holding, but barely. She slides something across the table. A small music box, scratched, bloodstained. You hesitate. I don't remember this. She nods. You wouldn't. It's mine. You lift the lid. It doesn't play music. It plays a recording. Your voice, younger, sharper. To finalize integration, subject consciousness must be fragmented, then softened with false memories. In high resistance cases, insert emotional anchors objects, dreams, familiar guilt, loop until compliant. The box clicks closed. Elena's eyes don't leave yours. I wasn't the subject. I was the test. You whisper. You knew, but pretended you didn't. She nods. So did you. You hear something outside the fog. A second ticking clock. Slower. More deliberate. She hears it too. Time's up, she says. You have two choices. She holds up a pen in one hand and a vial in the other. The pen symbolic, the ability to rewrite, to end it on your own terms. The vial soft reset. You'll forget everything again, but this time, she'll stay inside you, controlling the narrative. You either take back the story, she says, or let me finish it. You don't reach for either. Not yet. Instead, you ask, what happens if I do nothing? She leans back, finally smiling. That's the most dangerous choice of all. You turn your eyes to the fog, to the place where Section 20 waits, and wonder what's behind the final curtain, and whose voice will be speaking when it falls. Her story always had the last word. The fog parts one last time, and this time it doesn't lead to a room. It leads to a corridor of mirrors, tall, warped, infinite. You step through, and Elena follows. Her reflection appears beside yours in every pane. But something's wrong. Her image stays still when you move. Yours shifts a beat too late. It's like the mirrors are deciding who the real narrator is. You breathe deep. Hey, night listener. Tonight we enter the shadows. You whisper to yourself, mocking your own intro. And in one mirror, your reflection smiles. But not your smile, hers. You touch the glass. It's warm. She speaks softly beside you. Memory is a lie told with confidence. You glance at her. Whose confidence? Yours or mine? She doesn't answer. Instead, she steps into one of the mirrors, walks straight in, and on the other side, she becomes you, fully, seamlessly. Now you're alone. Or maybe she is. Another mirror blinks to life. A courtroom scene again. The trial, the loop, the lies. You watch yourself on the stand, testifying against a subject named Elena Voss. Except this time, the jury turns to stare at you in real time. Not the old you. You now. The one outside the mirror. They speak in unison. Everyone lies. Especially the quiet ones. The scene fades. Only one mirror remains. Plain, clean, unmarked. Inside it, a life. Yours, if things had been different. A real apartment. A quiet night. Rain on windows. A partner who still trusts you. You stare into it too long. Long enough for it to ache. Behind you, the ticking resumes. Faster now. You hold up the pen, the vial. You say aloud, it was never about the truth. It was about control. And for once, that sentence feels like forgiveness. You toss the pen into the fog, drop the vial beside it, and walk through the final mirror. No reset, no purge, no clean escape. Just choice and consequences and silence. The kind that only comes when the story ends, or maybe begins again with different eyes behind the glass.